Well, hello out there in Rando Land. I am Neon Tiger, and welcome to, I guess we can call this, as we like to say, Rando After Dark. It is pretty late here on a Thursday evening, and we are here to broadcast this Group Z, or Group Z for some of you other English speakers, match between two people that know each other very well. Good friends, JP and WillardJBradley, and I'm joined by Incoherent. How you doing tonight?
Good evening.
Absolutely, and of course, we have got ourselves an Ambrosia seat tonight. So, Incoherent, you want to tell the fine crowd out there a little bit about what Ambrosia entails?
So there's sort of three things that are part of Ambrosia. The first one is starting sword. The second one is that is standard start. And the third thing is that once we finish with escape, all of the bosses have non-dungeon items. So no maps, compasses, or keys. This sort of impacts how you route certain dungeons. We'll see how that happens later on.
And I should also note that we've got... we
forgot about the
boots
hint
as well. The boots hint. We'll get the boots hint right away as well. I will note we do have our new prediction, and what I like about this is the new prediction scenario. Actually, we'll talk about that in a moment here. As we get started, boots are in Dark Palace.
So sort of mid-game.
Indeed. So just very quickly, as we see our runners go through the wonderful standard castle and escape here, we do have predictions in chat here for those of you that are watching. You can predict with your channel points, and brand new the Twitch in general, we now have multiple options. So we have 6 different options on where that moon pearl is going to be. You've got about another minute to get your guesses in here, so that's actually really cool that we now have multiple guesses. And we start off with some bombs and a red rupee on Uncle.
Which is sort of unfortunate. One of the few sort of bits of intrigue in standard escape is, do you get bombs or not? And how do you navigate the prize packs? And now we don't care anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. So having those bombs is going to be super helpful. Obviously, we've already got the sword, so we don't have to worry too much about going through this dungeon sword list, but it's just nice to have those bombs, be able to get through the sewers and all of that stuff, not have to come back and get it later.
You really do want a bomb for the back of the escape chests, so you don't have to come back for them later.
Yeah, because that's 3 of them, and sometimes you can have something that's really nice back there, and you just want to make sure that you get it early, especially if it's something that's going to open up a whole bunch of other locations for you. So we'll see what we got here.
We'll just sit and watch the execution for the next roughly 4 minutes.
Yep. We did pick up a cape there, so that's for those of you who may be wondering, do we have Agaseed? That was not a hint, no. And of course, those who've been around the community for a very long time know JP and Willard, both veterans of the Rando tournament scene and of the ALTTPR League tournament scene. So two old friends, 2 old teammates going at it here. Boots hint was Palace of Darkness, so they are in a dark world. And just to give a super quick overview of where these two sit, Willard's 0-1. He lost against Vortex of Doom and is 3rd within the group. JP's 0-2, has lost to Meandium twice and is in 4th in the group. So both of them looking for that first win in groups here, and having to face off against each other to do it.
And neither with a lot played, so this can sort of set the tone for the rest of their group stages.
Yeah, you really want to get that first win if you can, because that's going to be super important. You want to get that momentum going again.
For what it's worth, the guards are actually the bomb packs. We can get even more bombs we want. Neither seem to be farming particularly hard, but you could. So we've rescued Zelda, we're gonna walk all the way back up here, and then we're gonna go through the sewers.
Yeah, this is the standard plan. Of course, also I should mention we have our wonderful sprites that we would expect from both of our runners in their running their traditional Link sprites here. JP, of course, with Dragonite, and Willard with the always present Garfield.
We'll see if it's actually Monday for him today.
It's kind of weird. Today has very much felt like a Friday all day for me. So who knows? Maybe it'll feel like a Friday for one of our two here, and it'll feel like a Monday for somebody else for sure.
So Willard killed a couple extra for bombs, but he didn't quite get to the 4-pack, which is sort of the thing you might want to aim for if you're farming. Now we're onto the rat section, and the rats have their own prize pack.
Yes, indeed. And of course, very quickly mentioned it as well as we see both runners check the back 3 chests in the escape here. There's the Moon Pearl. There it is, right there in the back of escape. So having those bombs early, very good sign, and I'm sure there are some people that are going to be very happy who've made that guess.
Congrats to the gamblers.
Yes, indeed. If you guessed inside a dungeon, you are correct. Congratulations. And sank chests will be picked up here for JP and Willard. And we'll see what's inside there.
Got the sub 6 from both. Love to see it.
Yes. Excellent execution here from both runners. Would really expect nothing less with these two. Of course, there's the pendant at Tower of Hera. Got a crystal at Eastern Palace, and green pendant is hanging out at Desert Palace. And pretty much both runners going to go do the item pull. Here I'm going to get some green rupees for their trouble. And then get some red rupees as well. And new prediction is up in the points in chat. And we'll see what's on the ledge. That looked like Bucknet. I couldn't.
It's a very important item, unfortunately.
Yes. But we do have a new guess here for where the third pendant is in the Dark World. We know it's there. And yep, you got your various dungeons to choose from. Ooh.
JP more interested in the bushcraft than Willard was.
Yeah, Willard getting those mitts and the mushroom spot though. JP will get those too, but Willard grabbing it first and making a drop down into the Thieves' hideout to find a big 50. And of course, these two, like we've mentioned a little bit before, know each other very well. They were teammates in ALTTPR League as part of a team. Let's get the acronym wrong because 3 people's name combined here. WJPDTB. Of course, they were teammates with In the Name of DT, good friend of mine. So, pretty good team, all things considered. They've done pretty well in leagues past. So, this should be a fun matchup between these two.
You wonder, because they're teammates and they know each other very well, if they're going to play sort of differently because they know each other's tendencies very well.
Right. That's actually a great point, making Coherent. They've both been around for a very long time. They've been teammates. They've probably faced each other in matches before. They know what to expect. Not really finding a whole lot in Blind's Hut right now besides that blue mail upgrade and the bloomerang apparently. So Not the worst find here, but nothing of super amazing value. But yeah, you really wonder, do you really change your play style? Do you change your routing at all, knowing what knowing what the other player's tendencies might be, especially as you start to find items and start to think, okay, do I need to make a change here because I know that my opponent, if he finds this thing, as he finds flippers, Willard finding flippers there in the well. So finding that flipper and not much else. We did get a heart, upgrade there. Bottle vendor only having some rupees, so poor exchange rate.
So note that actually JP's out of bombs at this point,
Oh,
and Willard
yeah.
isn't, because JP killed more, or because Willard killed more snakes for bombs.
Right. That's actually a nice little point that you bring up there, Good Coherent. So that will mean that JP's probably, unless he finds a bomb somewhere here, Sick Kid is bottle for bottle. But unless we find a bomb somewhere hiding out, probably going to have to see JP make a small dip to buy a bomb pack here, which is not going to be the biggest time loss here, but it will mean he's probably going to have an extra step in his journey. And yep, going to get those bombs. Got more than enough cash. It's not a cash worry here. It's more of a
just a bit less efficient of a route.
Yeah, efficiency kind of thing. And we're going to check what's on the bookshelf. It's just 10 arrows. We will not be coming back for those at any point here. And he's going to do the check first of what's at the end of the maze. So we may see a save and quit here. Yep, just the rupees. So save and quit. We'll go back to his house, and now we'll very likely see the kind of, I would say kind of the meta play here. When you do that, is you just make the south play. Ooh, picking up more bombs. So that's good.
I don't think he got that one. I thought that would work.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he had 2, and now he's got 3.
He got one off of the 50-50 rock.
Okay. Then yeah, he didn't pick that up.
Blind race game from JP. We'll be disappointed.
Ooh, there's the book. So that's gonna open up Desert Palace, actually. So having the Book of Medora will make that a possible play. Of course, we still need the fire source to be able to do kind of the full clear of that if we're going to do that. And we may also still need to get the boots if we've got progression within that dungeon locked on the torch.
And this is where the ambrosia sort of item thing comes into play, because if you go there now with no fire source, you're maybe getting one item if it's not boots locked.
Right.
Because one's on Land Molus.
Right. And Willard doing a little bit of farming now.
Also try to get to 500 before Zora.
Yeah, so I think that's probably a smart play. If you're going to possibly have to do the water walk to be able to set all that up, or actually we don't even need to do that because we have the flippers. If you're going to route that in early, having that 500 is probably going to be a nice thing. But we could probably also get the rupees. I would not be surprised if we didn't get the rupees here in Medieval Dorm Cave. There's usually some hiding somewhere. There's some bombs. Hammer. A big 20. The Can of Burna and 10 bombs. So we're actually 10 short, but that will not be too difficult to farm that up.
You could do a visit 20 rupees guy, or just hope that one of the others has it. But that is Dark World access.
It's true. So yeah, with Dark World access, we've kind of got quite a bit of the world possibly opened up. So we may see some divergence here. We are seeing a save and quit from JP. Willard's going to complete a little bit more of the path around Lake Hylia here.
Looks like JP's doing Hype Cave first.
Yep. And Willard's got the money for Zora, if so desired. Nope, gonna save and quit, though. Probably also gonna go Dark World and go to Hype Cave. There's our pause. There we go. The pendant question has been answered as Misery Mire. We did see there's a red crystal at Thieves Town. And I did miss the second one.
Ice Palace, I believe.
Yep. I knew it was on the right side of the map because I was only able to check the left side real quick. Hype Cave starts off with 10 arrows, some bombs, 20 rupees, 300 rupees, and a piece of heart. So I'm going to say nope on that. Yep, Ice Palace is the second red crystal. And howdy to everyone joining us from SpeedGaming 4. How y'all doing? Welcome to a Link to the Past Randomizer tournament match, Group Z, between good buddies JP and WillardJBradley. About 15 minutes in here, just got into Dark World. And we just had a Trash Hype Cave as well.
JP going immediately for Pod. Which, if you know how to mimic clip, this is, or have a bottle with a potion in it. I don't know what the bottles have.
We do have a bottle with a potion in it. Sick Kid had a green potion bottle, so we do have that option. Could see some YBA here.
I hope we don't get YBA. Hopefully it's just the camera unlock. But
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah, we probably just want to use the camera unlock. I'm thinking a little too big here.
I did that once by accident, Seed. It is not what you want to be doing.
No, no, you don't. You just want to get those mimics off the screen so that the door opens up. All right, we will see. Are we bow locked?
Not immediately.
Nope. Diggy game is just a piece of heart there for Willard. He's going to save and quit.
I think he's also going to Pod. No, he's going to the Flipper checks.
All right, a little bit of interesting divergence. There's a sword upgrade on the Lake Hylia Island, so that is interesting. What does our friend under the bridge have for us? Oh, he's got a sword upgrade. Okay.
It's a pretty easy temperate, I would guess.
Yeah, it's something I think we'll probably see him go get if they have the time, if they don't run across that tempered. And they're very likely if we get tempered somewhere else, if it's not on that island, we probably will not see them even bother to pick that up.
If you go to Swamp and you don't have it tempered by then, you probably go get it afterward.
Yeah, I would say so. But Willard doing the check there, and we are seeing the manipulation there of the mimics to get them across with the camera.
If you drink a potion while walking left in the previous room, it unlocks the camera until you move right to snap it back. So you can scroll the screen, so you can scroll the mimics off the screen, and the game is like, oh, there's no enemies on the screen, let's open the door.
Right, because that's the condition for opening the door, is that there's no enemies in the room. Doesn't have to say that you've killed all the enemies, they just have to not be on the screen. And a piece of heart up on the Zora ledge.
So I believe that's a 5-key front in Pod.
I think you are correct on that counting.
Actually, I think it's 6. Like,
Oh,
he's opened 2 doors already.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because
the very rare 6-key front pod.
And Zora is just a piece of heart, so not worth the payoff right now. Here's the big key. Yes, 6-key front is, as Incoherent said, pretty rare. You don't really get to see that too much. Hey, there's the boots. We knew they were in Palace of Darkness somewhere. And that's actually that's actually going to help here because even though JP and Willard are going to know these dark rooms pretty well, it's nice to have that little visual indication so you can kind of make sure that you're in the right spot. And plus, it's just going to make things go faster. There's the mirror in the harmless in the hellway.
I mean, the sword's usually pretty good at sort of telling you where you are.
Yep.
Mirror's a pretty big prize coming out here, though. Alright, Willard's playing to chat, I think.
Yeah, it sure looks like he is. Oh, he's going to check the ped. Is it dead? Probably. Yep. Single arrow.
The most dead.
And JP, meanwhile, taking care of the Dark Maze. Getting the Quake. That may be valuable later. You do need to have a check of the Turtle Rock Medallion requirement at some point here.
We'll get there when we get there.
Yep. And of course, gonna do all the boots checks now. So Bonk Rocks to start with.
They're both sort of going to go in the general direction of Thieves Town, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, Willard's already there, and JP's probably heading there in due time. So, got the book out, though. Maybe also going to give us the double ped check. There we go. We're getting some chests opened here as well in Thieves Town. First 4 as always. There's that big key. It's always in the first 4.
We already got a compass, so we're probably going to have to do all the other checks.
Yep.
JP with the Skull Woods dip.
Yep. Very interesting.
And losing a shield.
Yeah, not a bad play. Losing the shield kind of stinks, but it's one of those things. You may not even use it too much here.
Hey, the shield creates lag.
Ah, yeah, that's true. But yeah, for anyone wondering what the difference right now is, it's JP's early dive into pod, pulling out the mirror and the boots. We know the boots are in there, but the mirror was a nice surprise as well.
So the Skullwood dip is a bit controversial in Ambrosia because there are 7 places an item can be because the other one's on the boss, and if you have to check 6 of them and you don't get it, I guess we found it here, but you could do the whole front and not actually find an item, and it wastes some time. On the other hand, value woods is value.
That is true. That's kind of the gambles that you have to make sometimes. Is you just have to hope that it's a quick check and not that you get suckered into a full clear of a dungeon. You don't need to full clear to get just to get a single item.
The other thing that sort of pushes JP in this direction, I think, is he's going to do North Dark World checks with his mirror.
Yeah, this is a smart play. Getting some of these extra checks in here that Willard's going to take a little bit longer to get to. I think this is definitely efficient routing, and as a commentator and a runner, I always like to prioritize efficiency whenever I can, and that's definitely, the more of those checks you can make, the less double dipping, going back way over to the other side of the map spots that you might have to worry about later. So you spend a little bit of time now to save a lot of time later.
So we still only have one item in Thieves Town, by the way. We have map and compass already, so the rest are items.
That's kind of the worst feeling, I feel like, especially in Thieves Town, is when you when you have just one item and you're going down into the basement and you're just like, oh, I have to do a full clear to get everything.
I mean, it's not that bad. It's Thieves Town. You're doing 2 extra rooms.
Yeah. And there's the shovel, which opens up, I believe, exactly one spot that Willard hasn't checked so far.
The shovel will sort of work out for JP, though, because JP didn't do the South Dark World checks, and also has the mirror to get there.
Hey! Here's the lantern. I do like this from JP, though, because he's going to go check. He's going to do Zora, and he's going to do Catfish in here as well. So he's going to do Catfish into Waterfall and the Zora checks. And I like this, especially in situations where Catfish has something, because Catfish is, if you do Zora and Waterfall, you almost all the time see, this time it's junk, but you almost always see that Catfish check get put off because it's so far out of the way from everything else. Unless you end up having to do a mushroom check, you just never get to it. And I've seen races where one person's routed that in and the other person hasn't, and it's cost them the match because they never got back over to it until it was too late.
Yeah, the dilemma with this is always, well, okay, it's a very slow check, but when are you ever going there? Right.
That's kind of really the question is, can you route it in? And a lot of times actually you don't really need to route it in. So,
I mean, yeah, the fastest way to check something is never to check it.
Right. So it can save you a lot of time if you never have to check that, if you never have to go up that way. But the few times that you see that happen are just, it can be devastating if you put it off until you're having to do random spot checks.
And if you're wanting to gamble a little bit to try to give yourself an advantage, that's a place you can go because people don't like doing it.
Yes, and granted as well, there are way worse little spots that you can end up with an item being locked behind where it can just mess with you entirely. But it's just always kind of a thing where you have that one check that you didn't make earlier, you weren't able to route in efficiently, that you just kind of want to have a situation where it's not sitting in the back of your mind.
Or you just decide you're willing to lose if it's there.
Right, that's that too. Sometimes you're just like, if it's there, I've lost already, so I'm not even going to bother checking it.
But making those calls 20 minutes into the seed is a bit aggressive sometimes.
It is. It can be. So at this point, I don't think it's obviously going to be too much of a problem, and we know it's not an item that Willard's going to have to worry about. So he doesn't have to double back that way, and I'm sure we'll probably get to go mode without even having to consider going back to Catfish as a possible option. We did see our first crystal pickup as well. Willard making very quick work of blind, as we would expect him to do, because for those who may be new to all of this, and I know I see a lot of familiar names out there, but if you're new to this and you've never noticed this with blind, the first time you go into that fight, it's always the same pattern. So you can line yourself up once you know what the pattern is and just go to town on blind. And usually, as long as you have some kind of item that you can hit blind with, it's relatively simple work.
I mean, the refight also has a script to it, just nobody learns the refight script, because if you need to know the refight, you're already in trouble.
Yeah, usually that means that you've probably fallen at least once to blind.
So Willard is playing the desert. Is this just a gainer, or is he going into desert itself?
Well, we'll see in a moment here. We are checking. We are going to get a ledge check here. Yeah, I think he's going to go in. He's got the lamp, so he's got a light source. The question, of course, is the big key or a other item for progression up on that torch? If it is, then yeah, that's Boots Lock, and gonna have to go somewhere else, presumably the pod, to grab those boots.
Yeah, there's actually not a whole lot open in the scheme of things. The Willard doesn't have the mirror, so we can't really do much on the mountain.
Yeah, so that's one of the nice things about Willard not having that mirror as well, is he's gonna kind of be funneled at some point, and we'll see what's on there. It's the big key. Okay, yep. We're not finishing this quite yet, but what will be nice for Willard is he'll kind of eventually be funneled over to pod as the play to make. So it's not going to be a situation where he's going to spend the next 20 minutes going around checking a bunch of locations he doesn't need to check. In fact, I probably would not be shocked if he just doesn't check all these chests that he can get to, and then just, save and quits and goes to pod.
Doesn't even get an item. This is the risk of doing this desert dip. You might not get anything for it.
Right. JP now clearing out the bottom part of Thieves Town here. We'll do the blind fight, and we will probably see, again, really nice execution. So we saw some nice execution from Willard. Also going to see a Gina check here from Willard. This is kind of...
So, remind me which check the mirror was in pod. Was it Hellway?
Yeah. Yeah, it was in Hellway.
So I'm pretty sure that's bow locked, because there are two keys on the bow side.
Ah. Interesting.
So where is the bow?
It's a good question. It would have to be somewhere we could get to right now. It might be like in the first half of Eastern Palace somewhere. Or it could be, gosh, where could it be? Could be up on mountain. Willard might go up the... Is he going to go up the mountain here? He might go up the mountain. Yeah, it could be on mountain somewhere too. Because he does have logical progression to get up there with the lantern.
And once you get the save quit point, you don't have to do it again. So.
Yep. C-shaped house here for JP. This is a very, very wealthy seed for everybody.
Yeah, all those 20 rupee bush crabs.
All that really means too, Incoherent, is, the more of the stuff that you find early, the more trash you find early, that just means that there's more and more stuff buried later in the seed. And Old Man has just a piece of heart, but is going to open up the restart point on the mountain, and Willard will be heading on up to Spectacle Rock here to check everything out. Meanwhile, JP is going to do a lot of the South Dark World checks. There's the ether up on top of Spectacle Rock. What's inside? It's just some arrows.
So there's actually one other tech Willard can get here.
Oh yeah. You could do that. Good old Spike Cave. He's got the hammer. He's got Moon Pearl. Yeah, he's going to the Spike Cave. He's also got the cane and the magic cape. Plus he's got he's also got the green potion as well if he needed that, but I don't think that's going to be... Yeah, he might.
It's kind of close.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a red potion as well, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, if you're not aware, there aren't any spikes behind those torches, so you can just stand behind them and use a potion.
It's a neat little trick that I think, most of us probably didn't know until years later.
Alright, so what's JP doing now?
Ooh. Is he going over to... He's going over to Desert Palace. And I think Willard's going to check Sahasrahla and then maybe dip into Eastern Palace and see if it's back here somewhere. Well, it's not in Sahasrahla's closet.
So we do have both items in Desert and Logic. We have we have 2 in Eastern and Logic. Not at least 2, exactly 2.
Yep. Because that third one's going to be on the Armos Knights. No, without the bow, it's not in Logic yet. Oh, Willard's actually gonna... He's gonna go to Pod first, so... May still go to Eastern eventually, but he's gonna go to Pod and claim those boots right now.
He's sort of given up on his plan of finding the bow first.
Yeah, he's also gonna get the mirror, so that will be a good play for him.
If he realizes that the mirror is bow locked, he might actually go into Eastern because he doesn't have that many options left.
So yeah, the one nice thing for JP is going to be getting that big key, so that's going to allow him to complete the full dungeon here. And this is a green pendant dungeon, so if he does go over to Eastern Palace, there'll be a second check. There's the bow.
Aha, logic obtained.
Yep. So now we know it is boots locked bow, which means that this is a double dip Desert Palace. Double dip pod. Wrong palace. I'm getting my palaces mixed up here. There's too many of them.
Yeah, that's not great for Willard.
On the other hand, that's a pretty good read by JP to go get those boots first and then go to Desert Palace. Knowing there's a possibility that there could have been a boots lock, and indeed there was.
It was less obvious for JP because he's got more checks available that are in Logic without the mirror. But
that is true.
Found the right one.
Yep.
That's Rando.
Yeah, sometimes the rando you read the seed and you read it one way and you get lucky, and sometimes you read it a slightly different way and it just doesn't quite work out. Rakalam asking, where was Mirror? Mirror is in Palace of Darkness here. It's in Hellway, so Willard will probably, if he gets to the back here and gets those boots, he'll probably also grab that.
And so now we get to see NMG Landmole as the hardest fight in the game. Or just Hammer. That works too.
Yeah, Hammer's fine.
Alright, so Lamel doesn't have anything, but this then sets up a Pot Eastern combo for JP, and the Green Pendant turn in.
Yep. That's a lot of checks that you can check off all at once. So from a kind of a routing efficiency standpoint, I really like this. I really like how this turned out, for JP. This is going to be a lot of checks, a lot of crystal pickups. In fact, 2 crystal pickups, all in one go. So it's going to save quite a bit of time. And Ped is, for those who are just joining us, Ped is super dead. It is the lone arrow.
You always want to get your crystals first if you can, and there's not really anything you can put it off for with Eastern or Pod. If there's something here, great. If there's nothing here, then oh well.
Just a quick island check there, I think, for JP.
Or not. Could be picking that up, I guess.
Maybe. That's true. He does have the mirror, so that's a possible pickup that Willard is just about to be able to route in. Here we go. There's the mirror for Willard. Gonna get those boots in just a moment. Oh, he's got the boots. He's already gone downstairs. So now he's all caught up on the boots and mirror. And JP, of course, will actually get Tempered Sword if he decides to. He's gonna go back to Dark World. Maybe not quite yet, but if he goes
might be just swimming over to the other spot.
That's true. Yeah, if he visits
doing this,
he could. Yep. But yeah, if he goes to our friend underneath the bridge here. No, maybe not.
Where are we going? Oh, Ice Red Cave.
Yep.
Which you didn't do earlier.
Right.
I mean, it's Pendant Mire. You might not get a flute.
That's true. We are seeing Willard double up. He's going to Eastern Palace now, so got that big key.
Yeah, I think he realizes that the bow has to be available somewhere, and he's just hoping it's not in desert.
Which is unfortunately exactly where it is. But yeah, we were discussing a little bit earlier about the possibility of a Eastern Palace bow here, kind of French vanilla, as the kids like to say, within its dungeon, but perhaps not within its chest.
Nothing says there can't be 2 bows that were both in Logic.
That's absolutely true too. It could be vanilla bow. That would be something if it was. There's one bow the way that JP went that completely fits within Logic, and then Willard kind of goes the Eastern Palace route and finds the other bow. If that's the case, this seed is amazing.
And that was some slick routing for JP to go back to the portal and then come over here to the little thing you can mirror from in Dark World.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker. A lot easier than having to swim all the way over here. We are getting some pyramid checks now from JP, so this will be a good little check here.
Another one of those checks where I guess that you know when you're coming back here if you don't do it now, but there is a risk.
Yeah, I think that looked like it was the mail upgrade.
That was a red boomerang, I believe.
Red boomerang? Okay. I saw something red, so I couldn't tell if it was the mail upgrade or if it was the red boomerang. Yep. And this mushroom is the magical answer of what is hanging out in the chest.
Alright, Willard has abandoned the Logic for now. I think he's trying to find maybe Mitt's flute or something.
green pendant turned into a piece of heart, so nothing too much there. But yeah, we still have that possibility that the red mushroom could be a bow. Never know.
We'll at least get some new checks while JP cleans up 2 dungeons.
Yep. Willard's going to go into Hera here, and we will see what's in bottom here. It's going to be the big key. And finding that map as well down there, Willard's just going to dip out.
Yeah, it's pendant. It's a bit of a commitment.
Ooh. We've got Fire Rod up on top of the floating island, so that's going to be necessary.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, we gotta have 2 dungeons where that's going to be a certain necessity to complete them that are crystal dungeons. So that will be a trip to Hookshot Cave. Of course, now we got Paradox Cave as well, so quite a few items up in here. Oh, there's the oh my goodness,
wow.
There's the other bow. Wow. Okay, so Willard finding a bow in Paradox Cave.
Well, now you don't have to go back to desert.
Yeah. So Willard is not in as bad of a spot as perhaps he seemed a few minutes ago.
He does still have to come back at some point,
Yes.
which if he doesn't get a flute is going to be kind of painful, but...
Yep. On the other hand here, for JP, you kind of wonder, will there be a mountain check here at some point? And if so, does that mean he picks up silvers? And does Willard never get them because he's probably not going back to Desert Palace? Yeah, I would expect at some point we'll probably see Willard. I see some. I see your discussion in chat there about tempered. He knows where it is, so he'll probably go pick it up when he goes to Ice Palace here. I would assume.
Yeah, he might be going now even. No,
Yep. It's gonna.
And he knows that's there, so
Yeah.
especially if he's pretty sure he's not getting silvers, which, if he understands the pod logic, he knows roughly where the silvers have to be, and he's not going there, so he's going to pick up tempered because it saves like a lot.
Yeah. You don't want to have to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon if you don't have to, especially if you know where there's a tempered sword upgrade. Yeah, you go get that. You save yourself the aggravation of doing Master Sword Silverless.
And tempered saves time a bunch of other places too.
Yep. Makes a lot of the fights a little bit less of a hassle.
Okay, now I think he might be picking it up.
I think that's a good call.
No mitts, so he's not going anywhere else here.
Yeah, he's got the mirror out, so he's definitely going to pick that up right now. Yeah, it's a good call. Gonna save him some time here.
This is definitely a way to get a catfish. You don't see this whirlpool very much outside of entrance, but you can do this.
So I would suspect probably. I think Vortex also just in chat just mentioned it. I think probably. Oh, yep. Mushroom to catfish, and then probably go finish up Pod and Eastern. You've got that bow.
This bonk strat is really cool. I like doing this.
Yep. All you have to do is get that screen transition, and that's all the game needs to recognize that. Oh my goodness, it's the flute. Oh my. Well, that was a very good decision there by Willard.
Yeah, it'll save some time, and I'm not sure when JP's doing that.
Yeah, it's that's kind of the big question is, you know, when does JP do it? Because we talked a little bit about catfish being, you know, kind of a little bit out of the way. Maybe not so much because he's already over in Eastern Palace here. But yeah, that's kind of now if you would look at JP's routing on a item tracker, you would kind of see that it's semi-isolated spot now in the light world. There is a check that's over there that we haven't seen him do yet, which would be King's Tomb, because obviously you need the.
No, I think he did that earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, he did it earlier. Okay, then it would be kind of isolated by itself then.
You can sort of get there from Link's house.
Yeah.
But it is a bit isolated for him.
Yeah, he could do it right now. He could go right after Eastern Palace and go turn that in. That'd probably be if it's something that's on your mind. It's probably like something you would do right now. But he's gonna save and quit, so he's probably not too worried about it at this point.
The other option is go to the mountain.
Yep.
This might actually be a save scum setup. That might be why he saved and quit. So if this is nothing, he can keep the mushroom, but it's going to be something he's going to keep it.
That's exactly what it is. He is doing the check now. I like this. I think that's fun. That's a smart play. In case you happen to need it for powder bat later, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if it doesn't cost you much time to set it up, then you may as well set it up.
He's also going to pick up a potion here. He's going to release the being, grab himself a potion, and save and quit. So ultimately, a very nice play here. He's got a couple of safeties as well.
He'll go activate it right now. You get up the mountain that much faster.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of where our progression is, we're sort of running low on spots.
Yeah, we're kind of getting to that point where, as a runner, you're going to kind of look at where you're being funneled to, because we're kind of running out of options for overworld checks. We don't have everything we need to get into every dungeon, so there's still some questions on being able to clear dungeons. We can kind of dip into a couple, but it's gonna be interesting to see where. I think Willard's gonna have the first choice here of, okay, where do I go now, because he's gonna get through. Actually, no, maybe not. It'll depend on how quickly he does Eastern Palace here, because I think he is setting up Pod Eastern back to back. So having those two completed, we may see him have to make a choice first if JP is gonna continue to clear these mountain spots off.
Yeah, JP needs to do the mountain clear and is going to find where the fire out is, but not actually pick it up. But Hera is still available. Willard went in and then didn't actually do anything with it.
Yeah, we're still missing the mitts to be able to to get to the fire rod. Willard knows where it is. He just can't get there yet.
Chat pointed out that Willard might do desert anyway now that he has the flute, thinking that there's something in there other than the bow.
That's a possibility.
That if the thing there is the mitts or the hookshot or something, then that makes the rest of his routing better.
It does. It kind of gives you a very clear indication of where you need to go to or where you can go to next. So those are always things to be aware of.
Because hookshot puts the bow that he has in logic, and mitts put a bunch of other stuff in logic. So we'll see if JP goes up Hera.
Yeah, it appears that's going to be the case. Oh, wait, no, he hasn't got the second chest yet. So we'll see here. He's going to mirror out to the start, and yeah, he's going to go up.
Did not see an item here the first time, so we can see both items from JP here. That's not it. And so up we go. You know, Multimer has the other one. Willard having a bit of an issue with the Armos quick kill there.
Yeah, he's trying to set this up. He's just unfortunately he's gonna have to do the regular kill. But Moldorm here and gone. There's the mitts. Okay.
And JP wants no part of that pendant.
Yep. Not a bad decision. Absolutely does not need the pendant.
I feel like Willard just snake bit in this seed.
But that should open up.
He made a bunch of reasonable choices, and they just haven't worked out at all.
Yeah, that's unfortunately. That's just sometimes Rando is cruel like that. You can just make decisions that are good guesses, and they just don't work out. I will say though, Incoherent. The worst hookshot spot is in play with those boots. The absolute worst hookshot spot.
Oh, that one? That one's not so bad.
It's 2 years later, and I'm still bitter I had one of those seeds. But for anyone who's wondering, within logic, you can have the hookshot be in that first bonkable chest in Hookshot Cave. And I abhor it for very personal reasons.
I thought you were going to say swamp, which is still a possibility.
Yeah. There's that. There's a Silverus for JP. It could be in swamp too. Left side swamp's pretty bad.
And then there's the entrance special with the hookshot in upstairs GT.
Yeah, that's another bad one.
So JP gets to do the mitts route with the mirror, where you do paradox and then come back to the portal and go up this way.
Yeah, you get to do Super Bunny Cave. This is, of course, you get Super Bunny Cave and do Hookshot Cave, or at least the first chest. He's going to be able to get that fire rod as well on the floating island and get a chance to peek at, what your Turtle Rock access is, and also be able to even set that portal up from the other side.
Because at this point we are Cane and Ice Rod away, and Hook.
Yep. Of course, we're setting up the Bombos. Going to be on Turtle Rock.
All right, add that to the list then.
Yep, put that on board as well, because we have that's the one we haven't found. Congratulations to everybody who correctly predicted Bombos. Hey, Half Magic is in the Bonk Hole chest. Crisis averted.
I mean, after playing all those open hard seeds, half magic is a luxury. Alright, there's the fire red for JP. I assume that ice is going to be in his future fairly soon here. And also swamp, or Skullwoods. I always do that. I look at SW and I think it's swamp.
I've done that too. Don't worry. I mean, I said Palace of Darkness when I went to say Desert Palace earlier, so it's very easy. Some of these dungeon names, especially because in the chat and the actual text, it's like Dark Palace, Desert Palace.
Alright, so more dungeons that JP can just pick up and not worry too much about routing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Skullwoods first to see if he can pull a cane.
Yeah, I think you just want to get you want to clear what dungeons you can first. You can clear Skullwoods pretty quickly. So with that fire rod, that seems like the logical play to make here.
I mean, much like complaining about the kids these days not knowing how to Ice Palace bomb jump, it does save about a minute or something to full clear ice with the Icebreaker. I'm sure that's wrong. I'm sure somebody will tell me how much time it actually saves. It feels like a lot.
It does feel like a lot because you feel like you're skipping a lot of the checks that you would otherwise have to make. Ice Palace is very much it's a laboring dungeon to have to go through because you're going up and down and up and down and around and all over the place just to kind of get to another hole that you can fall down. So anything you can do to kind of get some of that tediousness removed is always welcome.
Particularly the part of where you do the right side and you have to go all the way up and then all the way back down.
And Aster in chat. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was gonna say Aster in chat saying it saves exactly 60 seconds. So you're completely correct on your 1 minute assessment.
Yeah, it's definitely less in Go mode, which is why NMG didn't care as much about it. All because they decided it was an actual glitch.
Oh, was Aster kidding? Darn. I was like, wow, it actually does save 60 seconds. But yeah, we're gonna should get a nice fight here. Yeah, with the Tempered Sword, that makes pretty quick work of Mothula.
And Willard is so snake that he got dead rocked on his way to Turtle Rock. He did go back for his mitts though, so that's good. So the Mothula quick kill sort of relies on bouncing Mothula against the block in the middle, so it's not necessarily the spikes.
JP's gonna check Ice Palace here. Will be the next clear.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It's a crystal dungeon, you can clear it now. You can open up Pyramid Fairy and do that afterward.
Yep. So you do have that second rod crystal. So that is a good observation there.
And Willard accidentally picks up the pot there.
Hey, big key right off the bat. But since we don't have the Canis Mario, we will not get to see Icebreaker tonight. We're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, both these have been around for a while. They know how to Ice Palace Bomb Jump.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that. And we're going to get that half magic there in the bonkable chest. Oh, he's going to hover. He's going to try to hover. Try to hover over to that left chest first. And I dropped the input. I think he just... Oh, now he's going to try it again.
Finding a cane here would be nice.
Yeah, you know, that's... that's a possibility if the cane's hiding in...
There was the first try bomb jump from JP.
Very nice. Yeah, Willard kind of thought better of it, and it was just like, you know, not worth it to try and set it up. If I just fall again, it's going to be even more time that I've lost trying to set up that hover.
Yeah, you sort of see him warming up, like you see people sort of doing the motion ahead of actually going over the pit, and you could sort of tell that it wasn't quite even.
Yeah, it's just better at that time to back out and just kind of say, yeah, I'll just come back to this later when I've got hook shot.
Okay, so we are hook locked in ice, but not cane locked.
Nope, and we do have Ether for access to Misery Mire, so that's going to be interesting. Willard's going to go check Checkerboard Cave first, as JP is working through Ice Palace here on the left. And Willard is going to nope out. And looks like we'll go to Skullwoods. Oh.
And well, that answers that question.
Yep. Ice Tea Room has the hook shot.
So that hook puts all these checks in logic, which I don't think they were before, because I think it was... Actually, no, we had all three keys in the left side, which means that you can get to the boss, but you can't get over here.
Right.
But this then is another dungeon that JP can do and look for his remaining items.
So yeah, I would say the play here is definitely going to be Swamp Palace. So we'll see that coming up here next. Still looking for Kane. Still looking for Ice Rod.
I mean, I guess there's an argument that you could do Pyramid Fairy before Swamp, but
You could.
the sort of standard play is to do Swamp first.
Right. I think it'd be a little easier, just on the routing situation to do Swamp Palace and then go up, get the red bomb, and go up to Pyramid Fairy, and then if you don't have all your items by then, figure out okay what's still left.
I mean, the only sort of question here is how you're going to handle left side Swamp.
Good point. Good
If it's going to make a
point.
difference to you, then maybe you do want to do preparing
Right.
ahead of time, but it is a bit out of your way.
And it looks like, yeah, Willard's going to head over to Ice Palace here. As JP trying to set up Cold Stare in the corner. Nicely done. Gets all 3 puffballs in the corner. Doesn't keep him there, but it doesn't really matter too much because he gets quite a bit of damage on all of them. And then quickly finishes them off. Big 50 is the prize, but the bigger prize at this point is going to be that hook shot and that 5th crystal.
Alright, so this should be floating to 4. We'll see which direction he goes after he gets in the portal. No, he's going to Mire.
This might be the checks that we saw Willard make a little bit ago, so probably shed, maybe take a peek and see what the medallion is for Meyer, and then go to checkerboard.
Yeah, this is covering your bases a bit, especially
Yeah.
if you're going to swamp.
Yeah, might as well. That way, just kind of giving yourself more info and getting these quick checks out of the way too is definitely not a problem.
I thought the bomb was going to be too high for Willard, but apparently that's not too high.
And JP's going to go to Swamp. He's got that hammer already out. Nicely done from Willard, getting the Ace Palace Palm jump first try as well.
Now this is just Bombos into Swamp, I think.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got here. It's vanilla. Nice. Very nice. It's a really good check there from JP because, of course, we need Bombos to be able to get into Turtle Rock. And, yeah, being able to route that in on your way to Swamp Palace, it's right there, you know. It's
Yeah,
nicely
you're down to
efficient.
2 now.
Yep. And I really wouldn't be shocked too if we don't see the same decision here from Willard when he goes to do Swamp Palace, probably right after doing the rest of Ice Palace here.
JP?
Might have been a muscle memory thing where you're just like, all right, I'll flute out of here, and at the last moment you realize, no, I don't want to do this.
It seems sort of intentional to summon the duck to get through the portal, but I wasn't sure where it
Yeah.
was going.
Ooh, there's a nice rod. First item chest in Ice Palace.
And that is absolutely the one you want to see first.
Yep. Because that's the one that could be in the most number of places. So you get that out of the way, and then you just have to worry about Samaria and where it's hiding out at.
And the options for Willard are starting to diminish of which things he's going to get to first.
I mean, looking pretty good here for JP. Just now needing that Samaria to be in go mode.
So what do we still have aside from the rest of Swamp Palace? We have one item in Mire, because
Yep.
it can't be Vidi.
Mm-hmm.
We have Pyramid Fairy.
Right, which would certainly be within logic here if it's Pyramid Fairy.
Which I assume is JP's next move.
That's what I would do.
And the rest of Hookshot Cave is the only other thing.
That's the other possibility too. Is could be Hookshot Cave. I kind of have a strong feeling it might be there, but we'll see.
JP does not want to do Bomb Diver Down, apparently. So seeing that big key and not going back toward the big chest sort of indicates to me that he's coming back in. Like, yes, those stairs are broken. You have to do the key dash to actually make them work, but if you weren't coming back here, you probably checked that. That or he's just leaving entirely.
Right, that would be my guess. And one of the nice things about having temperature already is this going to be a much quicker fight, and using either A, Master Sword, or B, having to use the hammer to do pause strats. And of course, Silvers makes the second phase of Argus absolutely nothing. Willard's getting the Bombos medallion right now.
Alright, so what's it going to be?
A big question here is where does JP go next? He's just having
None of the above. He's doing Hookshot Cave first.
Yep. Because if Smarty's in Hookshot Cave, you're in go mode and you're at your last dungeon already. I can see why he's choosing this first. Because if it's there, that's best case scenario right now.
But this does at least sort of give some options for Willard if he takes them.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's 2 items left in Swamp.
We are going to see him as well. Go ahead and open up Turtle Rock, which is a smart decision at this point. You're here, you may as well do it.
You have to do it at some point.
Hey, there it is.
JP has really just hit the route on this seed, I think.
Absolutely. So 1 hour, 17 minutes, 56 seconds. JP is in go mode with Turtle Rock to complete to get the crystals. Just a good call by JP. Made a little bit of a guess that it might be in Hookshot Cave, and indeed it was the very first chest he could get to with that hookshot.
And Vortex in chat pointing out that they do know each other, and I assume JP knows that Willard can at least attempt to hover and might be hedging against, well, he got it when he was up here.
Right. And we did indeed see that Willard gave the hover a shot here. So, man, if he had hovered and he gotten across that chest. Totally was possible. We are seeing Willard as well to diver down here with the bomb setup. But yeah,
if he'd gotten it, it would have been a lot closer because he would have been going from the ice rod in the first chest of swamp.
Right, and Jossie, of course, also pointing out that it is the hardest chest to hover over to, is that one in the top there. It's not quite as easy to get to as the other two are.
So you have an early big key in Turtle Rock, so you can do the big chest skip that only burned you 3% of the time, except for that one qual where it burned you.
Yeah, that's one of those things it's a comfort thing, where if it has burned you in the past, it's kind of something like anytime that happens with any of these skips, it's not always a thing where it's like it stays in the back of your mind forever and you're always going to make sure to check that. But there's always that possibility that you remember that it's been there before. So
yeah, there are a couple people that I know, especially during quals, who just did the big chest in TR every time just to hedge against losing a couple of minutes to something silly. But like, it's a thing that most everyone does.
Right.
We'll see if he does it. Anyway, I might be a liar. Yeah, no, he's doing the skip. Or wait, he's skipping this one at least. That's not really interesting. Getting a little bullied by the pokey here. So yeah, this is the big chest skip. He's up 2 hearts, which is not ideal.
No, I mean the good news is he doesn't have like anything that's super gonna hurt here. Yep.
He also has, I think, a red and 2 blues or something.
Right. Yeah, he should still have that. Should he still? Did he use the red for the?
Yeah, he used the red just now.
Okay, I was gonna say. So I'm just trying to keep track of all the potions here because we did use one for the camera, that mimic camera skip in Palace of Darkness. So I'm always trying to remember, okay, which ones have we used and which ones haven't we used?
I think he bought 2 when he picked up
the
blues.
Yeah, he did buy two blues, but we did, I think, also end up with a red and a green at some point.
Yeah, the green I think they both used for pod. Willard is doing left side, which I think is probably an accurate read of the situation. You just hope that they skipped it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you hope they skipped it, and B, you hope it has value that they've skipped. There's a small key that JP is looking for.
Yep, 97% of the time it works every time. I can't talk, sorry.
It's alright.
But like, you talk about people going to GT boots list, that's a 95% chance and people do it all the time. But in that case, the amount of time you lose looking for boots can be unbounded in the seed that is not ambrosia.
Yep. Because that is one of the things to keep in mind too, is when you get situations like, knowing where the boots are, getting that clue to start with, that's going to change a lot of your routing decisions. It's going to change what kind of things that you're willing to take risks on too. Yeah, as JP is doing a great job getting that first phase of Trinex down, and now on to phase 2. Very quickly done. Nicely executed there.
Yeah, Willard is doing pyramid as well, which all this makes sense.
And with the fun new multiple channel point predictions, we now have a nice way to do our GT big key guessing game. So not only can you do, are there 22 locations, you can put 1 to 22 in chat. You can now go ahead and guess with channel points here where you think it will be. So we've got 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 15, 16, 18, 19 to 21, and 22. If you believe it's going to be all the way at the last check.
Yeah, we have 8 options now for science. Thanks, Twitch.
I love that. That's probably one of my favorite additions. Is multiple guesses for channel point betting now. But I think it's going to be 15. So I think it'll be
he's
pretty
going
far.
left. So we will start with the torch.
Here we go. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Nope. Wrong kind of key. 4 is a no. 5 is a no. It's going to mirror out, and now we will go to the right. Number 6 is a no. Number 7 is a no, but we do have enough keys that we can go ahead and do a full right side check if we want to, and that's exactly what we're going to see from JP.
Yeah, the idea of the strat is you basically always have enough keys to do this.
Right.
Because GT has to give you a certain number of keys in the first couple of checks. GT key logic is an underappreciated science.
It really is. Of course, we've got 4 more checks here. So this will be 8, 9, 10, 11. Willard getting that cane, and he's now in go mode. Clicking that key out, and we're going back left. So if you guessed 4, if you are that 4th group guest right now for the channel points, this is kind of your last gasp here. And it is not in double firebar room, so remember, we are up to 13 here will be the next check, I believe.
And yeah, I do think this is sort of a more conservative route that he's taking here. It's a route that loses less to the other common GT routes. Like, I think the JP realizes that he hit the route here.
Mm-hmm. Thirteen's a no, so gonna get the rando room check here.
Like, this is about as much as a feeling ahead as you'll ever get from Random Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, ruined.
Dang it. I was hoping it would be
I
a piece
wanted
of art.
it to.
I know. So we have 5 more checks to go. Of course, the big 22 is still on the board, but
Say hi to Bob, everybody.
Bob's chest is not it. Usually is not one of those high location probabilities for the big key. I've seen it happen, but not always a likely scenario. I usually guess 15 because it's usually back here behind the Armos Knights 2 fight. It's vanilla location. Ooh. Oh, it's tile room. 22.
You watch enough Siege, sometimes that has to happen.
It does. There's one person who put their faith in Tile Room. One person put their faith in Tile Room here.
I did see one race where it was full key sanity and the big key was still here.
Very nice. Ego Proxy is getting paid. Nicely done. 56,000 channel points. Wow. So, your faith has been rewarded. It is the very last location. Tile Room number 22.
Willard, also low on health going into this part of the dungeon, is not using a potion, is instead using his blue cane.
Yeah, he'll be able to pick up some little hearts and full refill of his magic there, but shouldn't need it too much right now. It's more of a concern for when you get the laser bridge. Of course, JP picking up that big key in spot 22 and is now going to climb the tower.
Yep, all the randomnesses now are removed from the randomizer, basically, and we're just playing it out.
Right. One of the nice things, too, actually, for Willard, he's going to have the mirror shield here to deal with the lasers. A little bit easier to handle. But Gauntlet awaits JP. Almost there.
Yeah, and he has every armament he could possibly want. The only thing he doesn't have is powder, so he'll have to be careful at the top about his health.
Of course, we start Gauntlet with Stalfos rooms here.
And of course, chat is speculating whether Willard will do the Tower Room gamble. The problem with that gamble, sort of in general, I don't know Willard's tendencies or not, is that you have to sort of believe you're about 3 minutes behind and not much more or less. If you're more behind than that doesn't help you, as in this case. If you're behind less than that, you're probably just throwing.
Yep.
So it's sort of a hard call to make.
And he's going to GT. He's not going to...
He is also down the silver arrows, so he is giving up that much time as well.
Yep.
Presumably he knows where the silvers are, but...
Yep. We just gotta have a good idea of where they are by process of elimination at this point. And JP going through the two most satisfying rooms in the game, both part 1 and part 2. Going across the bridge that collapses and into the torch room here. Getting very close. He's made it through most of the extremely difficult parts of Gauntlet with relative ease, as one would expect. And he goes up the stairs to the 6th floor.
We don't even have the intrigue of possible jingle glitches anymore because they fixed those.
Yep. It's one of those things. It's good they fixed it, but also, boo, intrigue. You want intrigue. Yep, it's gonna head over here to the second Moldorm fight. Already got the hook shot out, so he's ready to get across that gap. Probably will not open up that chest at all. Nope.
And Willard's playing this at normal. We're not going straight to Tower Room.
Yep.
And yeah, Quadrant Glitch is not fixed because apparently when they fixed it, it made it worse. But Quadrant Glitch is a little easier to avoid, at least here. Yeah, pro tip, don't release a spin on the same frame you cross a quadrant boundary. Bad things will happen.
Yeah, turns out the Game does not like when you do two things at once. Very quick AGA 2 fight there from JP. Very efficient as well. Now all he's got to do is drop down the hole and time to fight the pig. He's got a pretty comfy lead here. Of course, he's also got that butter sword, so it's not really going to matter a whole heck of a lot here on the Ganon fight, but
yeah, optimally it saves 0 seconds, but it does make it a lot comfier to just slash randomly, not have to do a trident spin or anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, with full sword upgrade and silvers, this should be a pretty clean, pretty quick fight for JP. Would take a considerable amount of struggle at this point for him to really falter here. He's getting quite a few warps though, so that is always kind of a pain in the butt to deal with.
Gets the quick 2.
You may have the quick 2 here, yeah. Wow, very efficient. So yeah, get those GGs in chat, everybody. JP about to cross over the bridge and take his first win in group stage.
And it's official, GG.
Yes, indeed. Get GGs in chat. JP gonna move to 1 and 2 in Group C play with a official racetime.gg time. Let me grab it here. 1:35:26. Very, very, very well played run by JP here. Of course, Willard's gonna finish out here as well. Almost done with Gauntlet. He's gonna find the sad little notification of it's entire room.
The horrible truth, yeah.
Yep. And you're just like, oh shoot.
I mean, from a competitive standpoint, you're just going, all right, we both have to do this.
Yep. And of course, going to use the wall grab trick here with the cape. Which, of course, if you are unfamiliar with it, if you happen to, among many other glitches in the Japanese 1.0 version of the game here, if you happen to grab the wall while you're using the magic cape, and you grab it and you pull back on it, you don't have to pull back on it, but if you grab it, it does not drain magic from you for some reason. It's a very, very nice way to not have to deal with it. It might have something to do
with the existence of Spike Cave and the block there. Like they didn't maybe want people dying while they were lifting the block or something.
That's a good point. It's fun anyways. Game just, for whatever reason, a lot of the glitches in this game kind of, at least to me, I basically break them down as the game does not like when you do two things at once. When you do two things at once, the game does weird things.
Willard, with one arrow left, had to pick up the pot. Shout out to the vampire skewer, not skewers.
And definitely gonna keep cheering Willard on here as he works his way through Gauntlet, making pretty quick work of the first room here. Gonna get the second room. I probably in due order. Nicely done.
You still got 4 more races to do in the group stage, so
Yeah, it's
can't hurt to play it out.
Absolutely. It's definitely it's not over. So maybe not the situation you want to find yourself in, but certainly recoverable.
And these two still have to race again, so
Yeah.
might get revenge the next time. We'll see.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of, if you're a runner in this situation, you just kind of have to put each race within its own little compartment and just kind of compartmentalize it and just be like, not let it worry you.
I want to point out that Willard went for a Samaria double spin strat there, and would have been really cool if he'd hit it.
I always love to see those strategies that you don't get to see too often. Those are always really impressive, I think, to see, and just fun to see. You know what all these different runners are comfortable with doing here, and the kind of stuff that they could really put off when they execute each of these rooms.
But not a show for the people.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to do that anyways. You might as well. Willard's going to give us some checks here. There we go. Muldorm 2 fight here. And Willard. Oh, he doesn't have. Does he not have the? He's gonna get dog shot. I thought maybe we would get a hover after all, but nah. I just decides to take the safe route at this point. And of course, we're going to see this Aga fight here. Nice double from Willard. And he too gets the 2-2-2, the triple double.
Well, a bit like our Ganon fight because of no silvers, but still nothing too bad.
Yep. And I believe as Willard is finishing up, gonna have the Ganon fight here. I believe we got JP with us. JP, a copy? Okay, so I think we've got JP with us now. I believe. Yep. Hello. Hey, there we go. There we go.
Hey, GG.
GG's. So yeah, we're watching Willard finish up here with it's gonna be Butter Sword Silverless.
All right.
Yep. So how I will say I think we'll in a moment here we'll get your thoughts on the seed and just kind of what fun it was. It was fun to watch. Definitely fun to watch, and I think you guys both executed the best you could.
Yeah, I was worried I was behind for quite a bit of that, but I guess I talked about it a little bit afterwards. We'll let him. I'm sure he's still finishing up on stream, so I don't want to say too much yet.
Yeah, he's on phase 4 right now, getting those spins in. He's just found out that indeed those silvers that you found in Desert Palace were the ones that he did not find.
Yeah, it just seemed like you sort of hit the route and he didn't, and that's just sort of how Rando is sometimes.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like, though. I felt like I checked a lot, and that made me worried.
Right. Yeah. Collection rate of 165. That's not too abnormal. And Willard has just finished up his spins. So get those GGs in chat here for Willard in a moment. We'll get his official time. And Willard's going to finish this race with an official time of a 1:44.02, and I do not believe he is joining us in chat. So we just have going to have JP to talk to tonight. So yeah, how you feel? You mentioned that you kind of felt like you checked a lot of stuff. Did you ever feel like that you were really far behind at any point, or just kind of neck and neck?
A couple times. I know with Ambrosia, I know one thing a lot of people do is they'll rush the boot spots, which is why I rushed it early. Like I'm like, okay, I can. There is a small risk that if I go to pod, I won't get boots, but I have enough that I know I can check most of this. So I took the shot on going there, and it paid off. Then I did when I did the desert check, I was actually feeling kind of good at the time. I was like, okay, there's a bow. If that bow locks the other one, then I'm in good shape. But then I found the bow on Death Mountain. I'm like, oh great, that Desert Palace clear didn't feel so good then. Though Willard and I were talking about afterwards, and apparently both accesses to that bow were locked behind pod. So either bow you had to go through pod first.
Yep, you needed the mirror from pod to get to the other bow, which he eventually did get that one first. But he tried for a long time, to find the bow before going into pod. And like we knew because of where the mirror was, there had to be one. It's just that he'd already dipped desert and didn't want to go back.
Yeah, which makes sense. Because that was the other thing when I saw that desert. Like, if you dip desert without boots, then yeah, you're not liking yourself. That was, yeah. I guess one thing I will say that I did for this race, because I know Willard hates pendant dungeons, so that's why I was a little more willing to dip them. So, and that did pay off, at least for me in Hera, it sounds like.
Yeah, this is the thing that we were actually gonna get. We talked about it a little bit during the race, and we were kind of wondering about it ourselves. Obviously, JP, you and Willard are good buddies. You've both been teamed together in ALTTPR league stuff with GT, so you're very familiar with one another. Not only as friends, but as potential competitors like today. So you kind of know how each other likes to play and what you kind of like to do and what maybe you don't like to do too. Did that at all come into play as you were thinking of your routing, as you were thinking of I know what Willard likes to do, and I know what he doesn't necessarily always want to do. Did that change your routing or your play at all?
A little bit. That definitely was why I did pendants a little heavier, just because I know he didn't like it. But also that's partially why after Swamp I just rushed Hookshot Cave, because my fear was he hovered Hookshot Cave and would have found Samaria. So that's why I went up there right away, just in case. And I also felt like if I'm behind, this is the play to make anyway. And there's Samaria, and I was happy and worried at the same time, because happy having go mode, the play worked out, but worried because I knew there was a chance that Willard got that early, which I talked to him afterwards, and apparently he didn't.
Yeah, he was trying for a bit, and it just sort of wasn't working. He wasn't getting the rhythm, I think. And so he just bailed on it. I think if he'd gotten it, it would have been closer. I think he would have still been slightly ahead coming into Turtle Rock, but not by very much.
Yeah, I could see that, because there's probably some checks he doesn't make afterwards. Yeah. I mean, the route was pretty... I felt like the route was pretty straightforward after you got Mitts, because it takes you to Skull and Ice, which gets you to Hookshot, gets you to Swamp, and then up to TR. The early game was a little rougher. I'm kind of trying to figure out where some of the logic was. I also thought Willard might have potentially skipped swords. So I found it funny that there were 2 swords in the Lake Hylia area.
Yeah, I think he had the hobo sword first, and he knew about the other sword but couldn't get to it for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely didn't feel great about this one, but at the same time, I guess it did pay off. Like I know one of the things, like I said with Ambrosia, is I've raced Ambrosia on the ladder. I remember even after one of my Ambrosia losses, I was talking to somebody and they said basically, typically in Ambrosia, they found better results to rush the boots as soon as you can, because you're generally going to have better results from that. And like I said, there was definitely a risk going to pot early, but it did pay off. Not only with the boost, but also got me that mirror, which helped me with some overworld routing early. Though it also sent me to some spots that had nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted it to pay out. You check all the North Dark World and all that stuff, but I think Willard did all those things anyway eventually.
Yeah. And what was I forget what he said. He said he didn't check. He didn't go into Mire. He didn't do the rest of Desert, and he didn't have Smith Chain either. That was what he said he had left.
Yeah, because like you said, once the mitts came out, I think the rest of the seed, aside from maybe going back to the DDM for Samaria, sort of played itself.
Yeah. But yeah, I can definitely see how his route kind of got him there. Like, if he holding on pod, I definitely like the idea of holding on pod until you have a bow. Do it all in one go. But yeah, it just didn't pay off in this one. And I actually knew it when I got that mirror that it was bow locked, so I didn't want to. On one hand, I didn't want to check it a ton, but on the other hand, I'm like, this is going to help my routing. I shouldn't worry too much about that.
Yeah, you knew a bow had to be out there somewhere relatively nearby, and so you pull it out of Desert and go, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the boots are not bow locked, but the mirror is.
Yeah, because boots only required 4 keys, and the bow or the mirror required all 6. That was like one of the first times in a long time I've seen all 6 small keys in the front of pod.
Yeah, it's fairly uncommon to get a 6-key front like that.
Yeah, this is definitely a big win for me. I needed a win here to kind of stay in the hunt for bracket spots. I don't need to necessarily win out, but winning out's my best way into the bracket right now. So I feel, it's always tough playing a friend like Willard and having to win, but we kind of both came into this knowing this is for fun. This tournament's for fun. So as much as it hurts to beat a friend, at the same time we both just know this is for fun. And we got a rematch already scheduled for Saturday. We'll see. Maybe he gets his revenge on Saturday.
Absolutely, and I think that's great to hear that mentality of, it you want to win, but at the same time, it is just a game. That's something I think that's always good to remind ourselves as people that compete, that we're all, a lot of us are friends within the community, and a lot of us know each other, and you're always going to run into somebody that pretty well. You want to win, but you don't want to win and just be like, I'm going to beat you at any cost.
Yeah, definitely. That's even something I struggle with a lot too, is remembering it's just for fun. So I think in a way this matchup has been good because it reminded me, hey, this is for fun. Don't worry about the results either way. Indeed.
Yeah, I think we're going to start to kind of wrap things up. Anything else you wanted to say real quick, JP?
I think most of it. GG again to Willard. Thanks, guys, for covering this race. And yeah, we'll see if you get to see us play the rematch on Saturday or not.
Absolutely. Hopefully so. But yeah, make sure to follow both JP and Willard. Incoherent's been kind enough to put their Twitch channels in the description. I follow both of them actually, so good follows. Willard does play he does speedrun a lot of other things too, so I know he's not here to talk about himself, but he's a good follow. I would recommend it for those who aren't following him. Of course, thanks to Phyllis Steve for doing all the tracking work tonight for all of us, and Nico here as well. Thank you so much for being the co-coms on this fun little race.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good race.
Absolutely. So just very quickly here, I know I usually like to try and shout out when we have a race coming up in the morning when we're at the end of the evening, because this is the very last race. Let's see here. Next race that will be broadcast is a group N race between Magno and Hayfield Bay. That's going to be a good one. That'll be on SpeedGaming tomorrow at 12:10 p.m. Eastern, and Burgor and Udai are on the call for that, it looks like. So yeah, that looks like that's going to be fun. We've got all kinds of other matches throughout the day, so keep an eye on the SpeedGaming schedule for all of that. Make sure you follow SpeedGaming and as well as SpeedGaming channels 2 through 6 and the ALTTP Randomizer channels. We do have some broadcasts on there as well. So for everybody here, Frankie here, and Phyllis D, JP, Willard, our wonderful staff, and myself, Neon Tiger. Thanks for being here, everyone. Remember, somebody out there loves you. We love you too. Take care of yourselves. We will see you back here tomorrow and throughout the week here as we get through more of these group matches. So take care of yourselves, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Hi, everybody.